you for inviting me here. I think this subject highlighted by the Ockham Foundation, moving from charity to knowledge transfer, has wide implications. The first is that knowledge is not information. You can quickly transfer information, transferring knowledge. Of course, it's a long process, especially in a world where speed of innovation is as high as we have today. In short, in IT, you have two options. You can be a user or you can be a real player. If you want to be a player, you need to develop what is a fundamental platform. The first step to create a platform is to have people who can really attend the leading schools, the leading academy, because that's where knowledge is being built and where you can learn. This is a 5 to 10 year process. Starts with selection of people. You need to select the best brains at high school. You need to get the right formation. You need to have probably quotas at leading academy. You need to have students' loans. You need to have placement because you have to use this knowledge in order to keep it alive. And you need to commit the return to your land. Because if you don't go back, you have developed the knowledge, but this knowledge goes elsewhere. And in the Western world, we are very good at picking the best brains and bringing them over. The second step will be to establish local platforms, which is another long period. That means having local VCs, having local universities that can really work on the leading edge. So you need step one in order to have the right people to be able to develop step two. And then, of course, you need capital. I think there is the famous say from the Chinese, don't give a fish to somebody, teach them how to fish. I think this is the real step the Western world needs to take. The emerging countries need to be willing to play. Everybody needs to understand that it took 15 years from China to go from almost nowhere to build an industrial base, and will take them another 20 years to establish themselves as a knowledge leader. And China has the huge advantage of being able to have a unified government, and once decisions are taken, they are taken and deployed. But without such a process, we will be always running after the digital divide. We will be running after regulations because regulations normally regulate the past. They very seldom foresee what's going to happen in the future, and they almost never regulate the future. If you remember, to say one, when there was the regulation concerning Microsoft browser, was when the browser era was over, fundamentally. When they regulated Intel, it was when the instruction set architecture didn't have any importance anymore, and so on. So I think the real independence and the real development will come from establishing knowledge, which is not information, is the ability to generate new information and new knowledge. And this platform is something that the world as such need to take as a common responsibility, because without a common effort, this will simply not happen. And the gap is becoming every day a larger gap. Don't forget, innovation is a double exponential. And as time goes by, this gap gets bigger and bigger. Thank you. I think that was what I wanted fundamentally to address as an interest to the discussion.